branding is one of my favorite topics because it's one of the things. If you're your own business, it doesn't even have to be freelancing. If you don't have the branding there, especially these days,
Yeah.
it's your business isn't. You're going to be chasing clients the whole time.
Yep.
And I've been on the other side of that where I haven't thought about my branding, and it just felt like I was chasing money the whole time and chasing clients and just trying to get everything to come, trying to run after everything, and all the clients and things is being able to stand out. And I mean, I like to say people buy from personalities. If you relate to someone and you like someone, more likely to support them. People don't buy from robots.
I mean, exactly. It's like if you're not easy to recommend, right? If people don't understand who you are, what you do, and why you do it, it's very difficult for me to recommend a friend. If Imal here, if he's a really good web developer or web designer or whatever, but he doesn't tell me that, and it's not clear in his brand what he is and what he does, how can I recommend him? So I think branding is as much about sales as it is, I mean, of course it's about sales, but it's as about being clear of who you are to allow people to recommend you, so you don't have to keep chasing that next invoice, that next project, as you said. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I mean, tell people why they should trust us as well, and what we're going, because it's all very well to sit here and listen to us chat now, but we're not going to waste people's time. And we want you to know that you're learning from people. If you're new to the area, you haven't heard of myself, then yeah, you have to know that you're learning from people that know what they're talking about. And so yeah, this is what we're going over today. The first one is defining your goals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Brand strategy, nice.
So, I mean, every company has, brand strategy. At the end of the day, like you said, it's sales. It's how to sell yourself without spending tons of money on advertising and fun stuff that costs money. Branding yourself actually saves you
Exactly.
Audience. It's one of the most important things is defining your target audience, and it's that a lot of people skip and they go.
Yeah, it's difficult. If you don't know who you're selling to, how do you sell to them? How do you know what to say to them,
Exactly. So, and I mean, that's what we're going to be going over today, is how to talk to your selected target audience.
Yep.
And then, of course, design direction, which is just important as your brand and marketing strategy.
Yeah. I mean, design direction, and also like that with messaging, and you got something good there. Oh,
actually, stay right to the end.
Yeah.
We've got something really special for you. Super, super special. Literally, it's a gift worth. So, yeah, stick around and find out what it is. Basically, yeah, it's in Carl. We've put it together in a nice little package for you.
And also
a lot on your freelance career.
And the special offer is available online as well, isn't it, Storm? So you don't have to be physically in Thailand for the special offer. So, Abind and Amal, wherever you are, and Tanya, I don't know if Tanya's still in Thailand or not, or if he's still on an island somewhere. Yeah, so that's available wherever you are in the world. Hong Kong Island. I love Hong Kong. want to go to Hong Kong again. I like Hong Kong.
Great. So it sounds like a lot of these people know you, Carl.
A lot of people know me.
And yeah, yeah. My name is Storm. I am proudly South African. I was born here. So I'm joining you from South Africa at the moment. As you can see, we actually have real houses. There's no huts. There's no lions. Yeah, and I mean, I love traveling. I live as a digital nomad, so I work from anywhere. At the moment, I am in KwaZulu-Natal, in where it's very hot, very humid.
Mm.
Yeah, I basically travel all around. So interestingly, I can work from somewhere in the world. And I have never been to Bangkok.
Has anybody on chat been to South Africa before? I know I haven't. I'd love to go. Has anybody ever been to South Africa before? If you've been, let me know. Oh, can I share my screen? All right. I think I'm going to share my screen there, Stormy. All right. So where were we? Here we go. Is everyone still with me? Ah, yes. Helmut, great. Okay, you can still see me, right? I think can you see my screen? There we go. Yes, good. Okay. So guys, like I said, this is what we're going to be going through, defining our goals. Excellent, brilliant. State at the end. We've met the lovely Stormy now. She is in South Africa, so her internet is worse than my haircut. So I have to forgive for that.
Yes, and I am back.
Yay! Okay, Stormy, can you see my screen? I'm sharing now.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
I can see your screen. That's probably better than you.
Yes. Let's do it this way. Wow, I get to be in control. Right. So yeah, this is. She's been. I mean, the story of Storm is that we met long time ago online through I think it was like a Facebook group or something like that, or I can't remember how. But I was looking for writers, and I was looking for writers for our blog, you know, and people read our Web Courses blog. And for years, I was working with Stormy, and she was super kind to work how I like to work with you know, doing the copywriting, and super easy to work with, very professional. And then we sort of started growing as a company, and I said, hey, Stormy, you know, what else do you do? And she said, well, I'm actually a bit of a big deal, and I'm quite awesome. Is that of any use to you? And I said, hell yes. And so she's joined us as kind of like our marketing strategist, and she's helping us do things like this, which is forcing me to be in front of a camera when I have a face for radio. All right. Okay. Can everybody hear me okay? Just raise your hand or give me a message. Just want to check everybody's with me. All right. Okay. Let's have a look. So now let's have a look at this. So good old me. I'm from is that when I've got more hair? Yes, I've got more hair in that picture. And I'm originally from the UK. I've been in Thailand for about 14 years, and I absolutely love teaching. As anybody who knows me, teaching is my absolute favorite thing to do, and I love solving problems. And so that's why I kind of do things like this. I've been a web designer since I was 16. I'm 39 now, so I've been designing for a wee while. And yeah, absolutely love it. Now, one thing about me, as you will know, is I have terrible jokes. And of course, I've prepared one for today. It is Christmas. So ladies and gentlemen, what do you call, or what is the difference between snowmen and snow women? Come on, give me a guess. Go on to the channel and let me know if you know the difference between snowmen and snow women. Just let me know if you know on the chat. All right, so just let me know if you know the difference between snowmen and snow women. Snowballs! Yay! All right, good. So the idea is, what we're going to do now is I want to sort of like go through what this is. So this is a lot of practical experience as well. So you are going to learn something from this as well. So don't get me wrong, there's going to be plenty to talk about. So let's have a look. Now, one of the first things when you are thinking about doing your branding is super important to just define who and what and why and how. So that sounds really simple, but what I would like you to do, get a pen, write down, who am I, what do I do, why do I do it, and how. Now, the reason for that is it just helps you make decisions of design later on. So if you're wanting to learn new things, if you're wanting to collect different clients and things like that, having a very clear who you are will really help you do it. So literally just get a pen, piece of paper, and start writing. That will really, really help you just align with everything that you're doing and, you know what you're doing. So this is some of the work that Storm has done. I love that picture. Ah, Storm, you're back. Yeah. So with the picture here,
I'm going to turn my camera off. Just
no problem at all. So,
so definitely, obviously, the best place to start is actually thinking about the service
good. So, like we said with no problem. So what we said is we're going.
What am I going to be doing? Am I going to be freelance, so that you can sort of start building your brand strategy, marketing.
Right. So what we want to start doing is using this kind of strategy here to start building, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to pull this together and then we're going to be able to use that as a sort of guide. Now, a brand strategy guide, super easy to do. There's lots of templates. All you need to do, action point, Google, all you need to do is start to Google brand strategy guide. You can get lots of templates in Google Sheets, Google Slides. It's all in there. Maybe not Google Sheets. And what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to start to really use everything. So now, another thing that we wanted to do as a school, and I'd love for you to do this as a freelancer, is can you have a think about your values? Like, for example, if you are very passionate about sustainability, if you're very passionate about being honest or passionate about being very, very creative. So, for example, Arvind is an amazing photographer, right? So I remember that about you, my friend. And that was one of the things that, blew me away. Your photography was really nice. But what is it about a picture that really makes you shine? I know this sounds very arty-farty and very ethereal, but knowing your values and coming up with, say, we have 8, because we've going quite a long time and we've grown, but let's just start with 3. So just write down 3 things that really matter to you. Is it honesty? Is it integrity? Is Is it fun? Whatever it might be. Now, these are the ones from our brand guide, right? Things like value through relevance. So, for example, this webinar now is highly relevant for everybody watching because you can action point it. So already we've talked about, first of all, is who you are, what you do, how you do it, and why you do it. You write that down, piece of paper. Second thing is start to write down your values. And with your values, then you start to build this picture of who you are. And I want you to imagine this. Let's say, for example, you're selling an expensive service. Now, on one hand, you've got a person who knows exactly who they are, why they're doing it, and they're confident, and they're not seem like they're exploring themselves. They're showing, they're giving examples. And on the other hand, is someone like, well, I build websites, but not what is the benefit, what's the future, how do I do it special, what is unique about me? And that is why I want you to list down your brand values. Now, as you can then, we've also got just who you are, what you do. Hi, my name's Carl. I'm a UX design consultant and an educator, and I love telling bad jokes. You know, that's me. That's who I am. Anybody who's ever met me, it will know that's who I am. And that's what I want you to do with your brand. So stick about me now. Write that down. Go on, get a pen. Write that about me and just say, what do you do? I recently had to change this myself. I had to figure it out with what I did with my consultancy. Luckily, it's maybe got a bit better. Good, we're going well. Now, one really good way to help you with your brand guide, the next thing we want to do. So as a freelancer, we're talking about now how to brand yourself as that freelancer. Now, today, we were working on how to give your business card. I know it seems strange in a web design bootcamp, but getting clients helps you pay for the computer you use to get more clients, right? So you kind of know who you are. Now, the way that we're going to do that is just write down some words that don't only describe your work, but describe you. So, for example, with me, I'm a bubbly character. You know, you might find that. Storm, she's more of a sort of kick-ass, you know, very, very confident person. What's that, Stormy?
Edgy.
Edgy. She's edgy. There you go. She's edgy, especially if she hasn't had a glass of wine for a few days. So, though all of these things can be very thing, and like I said, I was talking to a student today. And one of the girls, she was quite, you know, quite timid. And what she wanted to do, is she wanted to be able to kind of be herself, but not too strong. All right. So the idea was, I said, look, just be yourself, be chilled, and that's totally fine. All right. So you don't have to push yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, pen and paper. Got it? Good. Now write down 5 words that describe you and your work. Good. Going well. We're going well, Stormy. Now, Stormy, you're joining us on mobile data now. Is that going to cost? Is that going to cost you like an hour?
Unfortunately, when it rains. Yeah,
no?
probably.
Oh
Might
my
have
God.
to select. Interesting factoid: South Africa has the highest data costs in the world.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, too much money. If it gets too long, then you know I'm here. Don't worry. And because you put this amazing presentation together, Stormy, this is easy. So it's good. Right. And again, this is, as you can see here, we've got two different worlds here, right? Can I go back? There we go. Good. So as you can see here, this is for a solar company that Stormy did. Logical, sustainable, empower, positive, economical, and impactful, right? And all of these words, look, all of these words, guys, they're not just, pardon my French, bullshit on a piece of paper. They become headlines. When you are doing your UI, when you're doing your business card, when you're doing your email signatures, right? You can start to use these brand words physically in your designs. So you don't have to keep thinking about different things, yeah. All right.
Yeah,
So,
well,
for example, you might we are focused on a positive and impactful um, um, impactful place, world to help more positive and empowering and logical impactfulness, whatever. But you can use these words to help you. All right. Those are hard words to put in a sentence. I
well,
shouldn't have done that.
they also tie into the brand psychology. So when you're designing, when you're taking into account your design direction, colors are part of psychology. The mood of your look and feel is part of psychology. So things like positive, you want positive colors. How do you want people to feel when they look at your brand? You want them to feel, this brand is positive, empowering, sustainable. So I mean, words like sustainable, immediately the color green comes to mind for nature and eco.
Yeah.
I mean, that's very straightforward.
And then
Um,
and then this one as well is a great example as well, Stormy. Can you talk us through this a bit?
and for a freelancer's brand guide, a freelancing virtual assistant, and we were putting her brand guide together. Um, and she wanted a sprinkle of personality, which we took literally and put sprinkles everywhere. And
Yeah.
we wanted it to be fun, but also professional.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
things like friendly, you want warmer colors, trustworthy. Um, you do get things like blue is a good color for trust. Logical, again, the blues, the silvers, balanced. There immediately the color temperature comes down to be calm,
Yeah. Nice.
helpful and organized. Yeah. So I mean, all of those come into the actual design direction as well for the brand.
Nice. Okay, so we've got this. We say, sorry, I went ahead a bit too fast then. Sorry, Stormy. So basically, what you're saying is, like using these words will help you make choices for imagery, for iconography, typography, and even colors. So, if I may, I'll talk a little bit about your brand goals. And yeah, so I hope your connection is going to stay because it's really good, Stormy. So yeah, I hope it doesn't cost.
Mobile.
It doesn't cost too much money. This is the sacrifice we're doing for you. Now,
yeah, you know what? And that's the beauty of it, is it's not going to cost too much money because I'm already fully booked till the end of February during a pandemic with not a cent of advertising spent in the last 3 months because I branded.
Yeah. And I would say, just for those people listening as well, on the receiving side of you as a freelancer, your professionalism and energy is one of the reasons it's made it so easy because we've struggled as a brand with the pandemic. We really, really have, and it's been hard. And you've been really there for us. And I mean, as a customer, I'm locked in. I want 120% of Storm, and so does everybody else. And that's something that we want you to think about when you're getting your customers. Please don't treat a customer like one product, one project. It's the start of a relationship. And that's where your brand really helps you focus and form that relationship. So what about brand goals, Stormy?
Yeah.
What's this about?
Yeah. So, I mean, I like to ask my clients when we're doing their brand strategies, I say, if your business could change the world, what would the perfect world look like?
Arvin?
And that is the best way to sort of,
Sorry.
Yeah, that's the best way to visualize your brand. So, I mean, if you're a web designer, what would the perfect world look like? Everyone in the world would have this amazing web design.
Yep.
And more specifically, you'd want to pick your niche. So everyone in this niche would have an amazing web design.
Nice. And that's where things like this come in. We have something called a brand platform. And we add this, we've got this from our own brand. This is the new brand that we're going to be launching next year. Our vision is seeing our trainees make a real difference in the world through their work and passion to grow ideas. So clear, so easy. And our mission is inspire and excite through creativity and experience. I was so happy when we got this together, and it just gives you, honestly, I mean, it gives you a lot of confidence if you've got this and you show this to someone, a potential client, boom, send that invoice.
Yeah, and I mean the great thing when you're actually branding your company for the first time, I mean your brand guide here for the new Tech Tree vision is really, really in depth and it's amazing. But I mean some people can't think this far. So literally one paragraph is sufficient enough. But if you can go deep like this into your vision and your mission and your values, that'll help even more. The more detailed that you can get, the better you're going to be able to communicate as your brand.
Brilliant. Now, one thing I would say, ladies and gentlemen, before you pick up that pen and start to write down your mission and vision, can I highly recommend Googling how to do it? It's not as easy as you think. But one thing to keep in mind is a vision is what the world will look like when you have achieved your mission, right? So a vision is something in the future, and the mission is the journey, right? How you do that. So when you're writing it, you have to, they're two different things. And the great thing is help, inspire, and excite through creativity and experience. So help, how do I help as a brand? How can I inspire as a brand? And how can I be exciting as a brand? So right now, Stormy and I, working for the company, we're doing help. That's what we're doing. So we're on mission. On mission!
Woo! That's my favorite thing. I love woohoos. They just they lift the vibe. You'll see halfway through all of our meetings, you can ask Carl if we have a meeting. Woohoo! It just makes it that much more fun. Especially if you're in really serious meetings.
Which we often are. Well, not so serious. I think Zoom makes you team later, by the way. That's cool. All right, good. Now, another thing is, again, brand goals. And something that I can see that you've done here with this, Stormy, is with Donna's brand guide, the colors just look so nice and they just work. And it must be nice, when you've got that brand, it helps you sort of create, marketing materials and stuff, right?
Definitely. So, I mean, how we do it all is we go through these points that we're going over now, and you sort of put the words down first. And at the end of it, you can actually use those words to create a color palette, which we're going to take you over in a bit as well. And the colors actually relate and send a message psychologically. So Donna's brand here that we've been using as the example for a freelance virtual assistant is it's got that professionalism, but it's also fun. It's a sprinkle of personality. So we used a lot of imagery of cakes and donuts and sprinkles, but at the same time, it's serious enough to be taken seriously. So we've got the books and the numbers and the clean cut professionalism.
Now, so question is, what do we do? Here it is. Pen and paper, please, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. Where's your pen? Where's your paper? Thank you. I've got my teacher voice.
Yeah, this is my secret recipe. Okay, because it's a very broad question what you do. And a lot of people, if they're a web designer, they'll go, oh, well, I'm a web designer.
Yeah.
You know how many web designers you're going to be competing against. So, and this will help a lot. I mean, you can put this, I call it the USP, unique selling proposition. This is the recipe for that. And you can put this at the top of your website. You can put this on your Facebook page. You can put this in Facebook comments. And this is really going to help you, especially in social media marketing, for referrals. If everyone, say someone on Facebook asks for a web designer recommendation, you know what everyone's doing? They're tagging a single name or leaving a web address.
Yeah.
So for our Tech Tree agency, WCB agency, if someone were asking for a web designer, and there are hundreds of comments that go down for things like that. and they're
Yeah.
all tagging people or leaving web addresses. Whereas if we, as Tech Tree Agency or WCB Design Agency, went and said, we help or eco-minded businesses grow their businesses online so that they can communicate with clients without without going against their brand values.
Nice. Good.
That immediately is more attractive than just a tag of this agency or that agency or this freelancer.
I mean, when I saw this slide myself, Stormy, I was like, if there's one thing I think everybody can get from this, if you just write this down and get it sorted, then it's worth, 40 minutes of your time anyway. Good. So again, this is where we start to work on some of the projects. So again, this is another one that Stormy's done, absolutely beautiful. Shout out to Victoria, one of our the family of Web Courses Bangkok. We love you loads. And she's in Morocco, and she's running I think it's a blog or something, or tourism.
Yeah, so they're starting a freelance travel consultancy or freelance tour guide business where they put tours together experiencing Morocco. We've actually got a meeting tomorrow, so that's going to be exciting. And so we put together, I like to split it up. So the USP you can use as your full description, which is great, but then have a shorter tagline
nice.
that you can pretty much plaster everywhere as a shorter answer. So the full description would be the full USP. This is what we do. This is who we do it for. This is what pain point we're saving you from. This is the goal we're going to help you achieve. So here it's custom crafted Moroccan tours for global travelers who want to immerse themselves in the true essence of Morocco. So it's not some touristy stuff that everyone gets involved in. Taking the sights, feelings, and tastes of an authentic Moroccan experience. And the shorter tagline for the website copy, we've gone with see, feel, and taste an authentic Moroccan experience.
And then with this, Storm, so I think what you're saying is, having all of this stuff in a brand guide, you'd be copying and pasting it into like multiple things, right?
Yeah, and I mean, it makes marketing and your life so much easier because you've literally, if you've got this brand guide, you've got a copy and paste reference for any design you want done, any marketing you want done. All of your messaging is here, and it's specifically tailored for your audience already.
Awesome. Yeah. Good. So the next question is, who are we serving? So, I mean, even just looking at this page, we've got our intern, Zach. He was studying music. He's now one of our interns. He's absolutely awesome. I love him to pieces. Marcus there studying a degree here. He's got a family here in Thailand, and he's also doing an internship at our wonderful friends at 7 Peaks Software. Any developers are listening, please let me know. I can recommend you to join 7 Peaks because they're an amazing bunch of ladies and gentlemen. Musa, he's all the way from South Africa as well. And I was talking. See, we got a book in. Nice. And Musa is absolutely brilliant guy. And I love him to pieces because he just really enjoyed the course, and it was really nice. Nanshi's brilliant, super intelligent, lovely girl, and full of energy and full of want to learning. Koshi, he's fun is so fun, and I have never known a man love food more than me. And then we've got Moy there. She's with her husband, who's from America, and she is traveling around. And yeah, she has gone from working in a boring office to now being able to be a freelancer. So this branding webinar will be great for her. All right.
Yeah.
So what about? So if you don't mind, I'll go through this one, Stormy, just because this is something I do. Now, one of the things that I do as a UX designer is I'm always thinking about my customers. So again, piece of paper, please, ladies and gentlemen, write down age. And I want you to write down an age that preferably is not too wide, right? Think about some of the big things that happen in your life. If you cross those divides with your who you're targeting, it becomes that much more difficult. For example, if you say something like 20 to 30, right, that's actually a really, really difficult age to go for here in Thailand, because 20 to say 23, you're still at university. And then 23, 24, 25, etc., you're in the workplace. That change is very big, very jarring. And so you need to know who you're really targeting with your branding. And if you're a freelancer, being more niche will help you land more projects. As a freelancer, you're not going to have hundreds of projects and things like that. You're just not. So let me recommend, be really, really specific. And what I would recommend, and this is a little tip from me, whoever your demographic is, make sure you'd like to have a beer with them. There's Carl's tip. So what I mean by that is, whoever you're working with, you should be able to say, hey, I can't wait to have a beer with you. So I've been working with Stormy for years. I can't wait to grab a glass of wine with her and chat all night, and it'd be great. And that's the kind of person, you know, that you want to work with. So do that with your demographics.
At the same time, that's the kind of clients you want as well. You don't want clients that you don't get along with.
Now, with the gender as well, again, by targeting everybody, you target nobody. This is an old saying of mine. I think I might have copied it, but I hope not. But the gender does help. So if you're targeting men or targeting women or both, then that's absolutely fine. But it is nice to be able to sort of say, right, who am I really connecting with? So for me, Donna and that design brand is very feminine, right? Ours is quite neutral. So we are going that. But Donna's is kind of like, look, I work really well with other women. That's totally fine. To be niche is better. You can gradually grow later. You know, you can do dogs and cats and hamsters later. But, you know, for now, just keep it nice and niche.
It is actually quite interesting. Most of Donna's clients, in fact, all of Donna's clients pretty much are males, except me.
Now,
they're all men looking for that feminine touch.
Yeah, so normally to tidy up after them, right?
Yeah.
Good. So next one is income level. So what I want you to do is thinking about with the income level is there's a certain type of expectation, different things at different income levels. It's just a fact. Look, if you're paying peanuts, you will get monkeys. If you are only asking for peanuts, you are a monkey. So you have to sort of figure out what your client is and what they're doing. If you're very, very high income focused, that's fine. And your branding needs to reflect that, right? Okay. So for example, your branding is not going to be, you know, one of the brand values is not going to be like discount value, buy one, get one free. That's not going to excite someone at a very high level. So yeah. Next one is interests. So this is great because you can start to think about how you can connect with your, you know, with the people you're working with. So one of the things that Stormy and I connected under is sustainability. I love being able to help where I can. And Stormy was like, no, you're talking my language as well. Connection made, bit of a woohoo. And then I was like, as a client of Stormy's, I was super happy that I was working with the right person. So having those interests. So if your interest is, you know, having a quiet glass of wine by the river, but most of your clients love going to raves until 9 o'clock in the morning, yeah, maybe there's not a good connection there. Personality traits go the same way. I would say you have to be really careful about, you know, who you work with. You just have to think, would I go for a beer with this person? And I remember recently there was a client, maybe not so recently, so I get myself in trouble, but there was a client that we had some problems with. And I realized one of the reasons I probably would never work with her again is because I'd never want to go for a glass of wine or a beer with her at all. You know, I wouldn't want to sort of spend my time with that person. And because of that, it means that I have to then chase another project. If I was more careful, then I would be working with someone I could have a long relationship with, like Stormy and I. All right. Lastly, and the most important one, is what their pain points are. Now, with regards to, sorry, Stormy, to take over this one, but one I feel confident about. Now, one of the pain points for me, and this is kind of how Stormy came in, is I was too busy. I was trying to do business development and marketing and managing and teaching and curriculum development, and I was tired, hence no hair left. And then Stormy came, he's like, I'll handle them. I'll do that. And so my pain point was just making sure things got done. And that's something that she really identified with us. So whatever your pain point is, and like I said, it doesn't, sorry, what I mean is you don't have to always be about, your pain point is, I don't have a website. That's not a pain point. That's just something that you need to do. But you want to be able to get more customers in an organic way without having to keep spending on marketing. A website is just one of the solutions. So that's what I want you to think about. Write down the kind of pain points you can fix.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, as you said, that is the most important part, because at the end of the day, your customers are going to be seeking you out because of the pain points that they have.
Absolutely.
And the more specific you get with that, and the more you can address that, the better. So the more you niche in, the more you think about this audience, the more you're going to attract them.
Yeah.
And I use the example of,
sorry, Storm, sorry.
Yeah, I use the example of, you can stand on a crate and shout at a courtyard full of people, of thousands and thousands of people, and no one's going to listen to you. But if you get the right audience, you're going to have more conversions because you're speaking to the right people and addressing their pain points. So, for example, a gym could say, oh, we're a gym, we help people lose weight. That's great. Every single gym does that. But, or let's say you're a freelance personal trainer. There we go. I help people lose weight. Great. So does every single personal trainer out there, if that's the goal. Whereas if you adjusted your message and you said, I help new moms lose up to 20 kilograms in a month, so that they can get their pre-pregnancy body back without giving up the foods that they love.
20 kilograms in a month?
Okay, it's an unrealistic expectation, but
I'll sign up for that. Would anybody else in the chat, would anyone else like to lose 20 kilograms? I would. I'll do it twice. Good. So one of the ways of doing this is using personas. John McGill, I don't like him. He looks like a lawyer. He's a decision maker. All right. So yeah. So basically, what we're looking at is we're doing a persona. Highly recommend Extensio. EXTENIO.com, and you can do some really good personas on there for free. See, we have a lot of cheap.
You can't add a picture. Yeah. The only thing that the free thing limits you on is you can't add the picture of the person or the brand, but you can add all of this information in the free template using Extensio.
Yes. By the way, in our chat, one person has come up with a very good idea of how to lose 20 kilograms in a week, and that's have a baby. So you have to count the baby. Nice work, Tris. Good to see you, mate. All right, good. So again, this is actually where me and Stormy parted ways a little bit on 30 to 65 years old. That's a big list. But hey, she's being very quite focused on otherwise middle to upper class income bracket, which is good. So she's been quite focused, which is good. Good. And here's some pain points. So someone who's trustworthy to handle the little things. And again, that was something that I needed. The villain was lack of control, over being overwhelmed and things like that. Now, listen, when I and Stormy talk about this brand guide, I'm talking about a practical way. When you are a freelancer, you will reply to emails, you will reply to comments, you will send tweets, you'll send posts. In those posts, need some words, they need some images. Now, how about this if I said this in a post? Do you feel like you have lack of control over your business? I would look at that and go, hell yeah. And then I'm interested. You see what I mean? So this is what Stormy's doing. She's saying, if you think about these things now, they will literally help you go to canva.com, canva.com, which Stormy hates. That's why her face has just changed when I said that. But Canva.com help you do a quick design, and you'll know the words to put because you'll be able to talk about the pain points.
Yeah.
What do you think,
And I
Stormy?
mean, these are, yeah, they're also great to open up if you're running things like social media ads on Facebook or Instagram. If this is the first line, you're directly addressing the people that have this problem, and they're going to be more likely to pay attention to what you are saying.
Absolutely. All right. So again, this is where it comes down to. Do we start to be able to show empathy? If you showed me that you understand that I'm a really busy guy and I need help, my God, you've got my attention. All right. It also makes you be able to show authority in that you know what you're doing, you've done this before, and you have a process for it. A great way to show authority is have a clear process. If you are, then it's not going to work. I recently had the pleasure of having a meeting with Darren from Fire Creek, and I knew exactly what I was going in for and what I needed to say, and within a day he had a proposal waiting for him. And we were able to create that proposal in 4 hours because we had it pre-prepared. And that's this kind of quality, is if you're hiring someone and they can give you a proposal right away, shows authority. What's the 3-step process? Tell us.
So the 3-step process is basically, it's telling your audience that you're super easy to work with. These are the steps that we take to work with me. It's not this long, elongated process. You literally book a call, we discuss what you need, and then I'm going to spit out a quote so we can get going. So if you can break your process as a freelancer down into 3 steps, it almost creates a sense of ease for your audience, and they go, oh, that sounds pretty simple, let's do it.
Nice.
And also, I like to say, unfortunately, common sense these days is not that common. So you actually have to tell people what they need to do.
Ladies and gents, Stormy says that in every video.
Because it is infinitely true. That it's never going to run out of truthfulness.
Word. All right.
Yeah, and then for those 3 steps to be followed by a call to action. And of course, it should be one main call to action, because we don't want to confuse people. So keeping one main call to action and having an end goal. So whether it's book a discovery call or shop now or work with me or call now, there needs to be one main call to action that you're trying to drive your audience towards in your messaging.
Yeah. I think one of the things, and this is something hot off the press, guys, I'm creating something called a rate card for the agency that I'm creating with my good co-founder, Matthias. And we're thinking of what we're going to do is one of the first touch points with our clients is getting them to request to download the rate card and then book a call. So maybe that would help us improve, because people kind of go, look, you're a consultant, you're probably lots of money. Let me see how much. Oh, I can see how much. Click. Okay, not so expensive. Okay, now I want to talk to you. All right. So think about that as your branding as well. And then again, actually, you're just talking about that, which is things like a rate card or an ebook. Stormy, they're pretty good, right?
Yeah, definitely. So especially when you're cold marketing. So if you put out a Facebook advert to people, or if you're people have just heard of you and you have not had a relationship with that person yet. So if I didn't know Carl and Carl first landed on my website, there's no relationship there. Maybe he thinks what I'm saying is sounding cool, but maybe he's not going to buy first time. He's not ready to hand over all that money for my freelance services because he doesn't trust me yet. But if I have a lead magnet that is interesting to him, it can be something that almost backs up my authority and shows that I know what I'm talking about as well. So a lead magnet. So for Do It Donna, we put together a guide to hiring your first virtual assistant, everything you need to know. If you're a freelance web designer, you can have lead magnet to do with that. So everything, 10 questions you should ask your web designer before you hand over the money.
Nice. Good.
Yeah, and what that does is you can collect email addresses straight away. So even if they don't buy from you then, you know they're interested in buying from you because they're downloading a product or a lead magnet that is relevant to what your customer is looking for.
And I like how on this slide here, you're giving an example of, you know, telling our audience now in the webinar is just like, you know, these are different things that you can start to do with them. So break your process into 3 easy steps of how people should respond to you. An intro call are great. They're great ways of just getting to know people. I think I have like, I don't know, I'd say 80% close rate if I actually talk to somebody. Getting as well is always really nice, and making sure that they know that. And again, this show of a process is a real confidence builder. And then the idea is once you've got all of those details, then you start the monthly service. And when they know that, me knowing that ahead of time, I'm like, okay, so, you know, 1, 2, I'm not paying any money yet. So, okay, fine. I can start to make sure he or she is the right choice.
Yeah. And I mean, if they don't take the call to action there, they're going to take, hopefully going to take the lead magnet because it's something for free.
Yeah.
And that just because they don't buy from you now doesn't mean they're not going to buy from you in a week from now, or 2 weeks from now, or a month from now, or even a year from now. But a lead magnet gets their information and you loop them into a nice email marketing campaign or something to build the relationship so that you build the trust. And eventually, when you're sticking in their head, they're going to contact you. You're going to be the first one that they think of.
And again, like things like the call to action, you know, can be based on your brand values and everything that we've discussed earlier. Excellent. Yeah. Good. Oh, is this a design from you?
No, this isn't one of my designs. This is just one I thought was really good.
Building your life dreams.
Yeah, this is just a little lead magnet, straight up free online training. Claim my spot. It's going to take your email address and your name. That's all they need. And then this is for entrepreneurs and growing your business and building your life dreams, etc. And once you've signed up for this lead magnet, you're on the mailing list because you're someone that's interested in growing their business. And Lewis is going to sell you all of the things via his email marketing once you trust him.
Yeah, and then this is the one that you talked about earlier.
Yeah, so this is the one we did for Donna. So everything you need to know about hiring a virtual assistant.
Nice. All right, so the next one we need to think about is design direction. A good way of doing this, a very, very, very nice way, is a couple of free tools. Mural is a good one. I think it's free for most people. There's Millernote, which I can highly recommend. Millernote is very, very, very good. And then lastly is good old-fashioned Figma. So Figma is really good for many, many different things. And one of those things is it's free and you can collaborate with another person for free as well. So just one person. But I would highly recommend using things like Figma because that's actually where our brand guide lives when it's finished being done. Another place you can do this is, you know, Google Slides. Google Slides is just as good as any tool for creating a mood board. What you're looking for when you're doing this, ladies and gents, is the look and feel. Right? As you can see, all of the tonalities and all of the sort of feel of the image on the right-hand side here, very similar. And that's what I want you to do. Go to unsplash.com, go to pexels.com, and start to look for images. When you find one that represents you and your brand, pull it off, and do save the big version in case you want to use it, and then stick it in Google Slides, Figma, Mural, Millernote, or your own ear. It doesn't matter what, as long as you put it somewhere. And again, that's like the imagery. When you're choosing those images, you'll often find that you end up choosing your color palette. All right. Now, there is a tool by Shutterstock that allows you to upload a picture and it will get the colors from it. Also, you can use Adobe Color. which is really nice. So just write down Adobe Color, and that's really
Yeah.
useful.
So an important thing to take into consideration here is that when you're doing your mood board and your look and feel, every brand has a brand personality, and they generally fit into a brand season. So a season personality. So there's obviously winter, summer, autumn, spring. And those definitely play a part in how your colors are going to make people feel, what sort of shapes you're using. For example, if you use a winter palette, it's slightly colder colors, but the feeling it gives is a lot more opulent. So you'll find a lot of luxury brands use this, a lot of luxury car brands, banks, and it's a lot richer personality.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so like I said, choosing those images and things will really start to do it. As you can see here, this is something that Stormy's done before. I love this pattern. I love this pattern idea. So I'm, should I say what it is? Or should we just, okay, guys, maybe in the chat, if you can let us know, in the chat, what pattern do you think that is? Have a look at the brand guide itself. Ignore the lemon tea. All right, that's not super, but the rest of it is. What do you think that is? Do you think it's do you think it's relevant, or do you think it's just a nice pattern? Is there a story? What could it be? What do you think? Let me know if you see anyone answering, Stormy.
Yeah, you'll also see that this is a summer personality. So it's got a lot more warmer colors, and there we go. Facebook's got a couple of right answers. Yeah, there we go. Everyone's getting it right. There are no wrong answers. It's solar panels.
Solar panel. Well,
good job.
Tris is a branding genius, so he's bound to get it right.
Definitely.
Awesome, good. Again, this. I've got to admit, I don't like this picture here. Is that the belly button? I don't know.
That's
but this is all
holding a costume. So this is an autumn personality. So it's warm. It's like a warm, cool. Just think of leaves falling off of a tree. There's a sense of warmth there, but it's still got an almost opulent feel. So it's sitting in between the summer and the winter brands.
Awesome.
And you'll see the geometric shapes from the winter pattern can get a little bit more curvy. Whereas if you have the winter pattern here, it's a lot of geometric shapes. It's the only season that you can actually use black in the color palette.
Got it. Nice. Macaron.
Got some love.
Macaron.
Autumn personality. Yeah, and this is Donna's. Do it, Donna's. This is the spring personality. Very light, friendly, soothing.
Well,
you'll see a lot of yoga studios in the spring.
Eating that many macarons and donuts, so she's not going to have a summer bod. All right, good. So again, mood and feel, just grab pictures and put them on. That will really help you as you are designing stuff. And the color palette will come from it. Now, the color palette tends to be around about 5 or 6 colors. Again, if you go to Adobe Color, you will find a wonderful tool to be able to do this yourself. Just jump on it and then choose a color and go from there. Excellent, good. Now, next one is the font selection. I know this is a little bit boring, but I do recommend if you're starting out and you want to keep costs down, keep things simple, may I recommend using Google Fonts. There is a reason for that. It's not because they're free and it's not because they're good, which they are, but they tie in to a lot of other websites. Everything from email campaigns to Canva to to things like Elementor in WordPress and Divi. And there's a lot of these really wonderful tools that just pull from Google Fonts. So if your font is already within the system that you're using, happy days. And that's a bit of a whoop whoop.
Definitely. And they work nicely on websites. For your images, just answering a question here, you want to look at sites like pixabay.com, pixabay.com, pexels.com, which is pexels.com, unsplash.com, kaboompix.com. All of those are royalty-free images that you can pick for free, and they're great to use for your mood boards. So in this Do It Donna brand guide, all of these have been royalty-free images.
Awesome. Awesome sauce. All right, we're coming towards the end now, guys. So we want to talk now about how to use it. So this is kind of like we've talked about our customers, our brand values, our mission and vision, our color, our photography and imagery, and we've talked about the who, the what, the why, and how. Now the question is how do we use this? Now we've got the brand guide. What the hell do you do with it? Does it sit in a PDF that you never use, or do you bring it out every now and then? Or is it something that you should always reference? Well, I'm going to say the latter. When I'm designing UI, when I'm designing marketing materials, I'm forever always going back to my brand guide. And if you work with anybody else, they should be working from that as well. So let's have a look at that. So this is, something that we're doing with our agency. So, I'm not saying we did a cookbook, but it's a damn good idea.
A branding cookbook. I thought it was amazing. So, I mean, that's basically what today has been. It's been a recipe for your brand. And something that is important, once you've stuck all of this down onto a piece of paper with all of your colors and made them work together, you can literally, as Carl said, hand it off to anyone. If you want a logo designed, you want it designed with your brand messaging in tow. So the specific shapes, the specific colors. You can then hand that over to a graphic designer, and they'll be able to whip you up a logo that actually communicates with your audience. It's not just something that's there for the sake of being there. And once again, it's colors that communicate with your audience. If you're a swimming teacher, you're not going to have a color like red in your logo, because that's passion and danger. And so you want
passionate about not drowning, because that's dangerous.
Yeah, there we go. So you're not going to use things like that in a swimming brand, just even if it's your favorite color. Nice. So to be able to reference this brand guide and the psychology behind the marketing as well is going to help attract the right clients and send the right message that you're wanting to communicate with your audience, which means they're going to come to you because your branding is communicating with them already before you have said a word to them.
She's getting excited, ladies and gentlemen. She's getting excited, right? All right, good. Now, Stormy, question is, does this work? Or have we just been talking bullshit for an hour? Well, yes, it does, because we've helped hundreds of people through our boot camps and thousands over the 12 years that we've been going. And so we know what kind of works. And I know from being the teacher of these people, the kind of people that really do well. Those are the ones that start with the brand. The skills will come. The brand has to start first, and then you can go from there. So Amir and Ping, they met on a boot camp, and they got together, which is really, really cool. I didn't know until I caught them hugging next to the MRT. Aha! I saw you. Which is super cute because like, teacher's here. And they went traveling, and then now they have started being, a team. So I remember Ping was a fantastic UI and UX designer. She was even an intern with us for a little while. And Amir, he's a really good businessman. He's a really good sort of like businessman, extremely passionate and very, very foregoing. T here is a budding product owner. And again, he had that hunger for going forward, and he was always asking, who am I, what am I doing, and stuff like that. And we helped shape his career, and we're absolutely amazed by some of the work that he's been doing. I even had a free chat with him. I gave him some consultancy because he's at that level now. I'm consulting him. I'm not teaching him or coaching him. I'm consulting him, working on some big projects. I do hope that he managed to convince his team to move to Figma. If not, that's all right. But it was, again, just a pleasure for him to be asking those type of questions. Like, okay, if you're managing 20 people and 10 of them are in another country and some of them are here, what do you do? I'm like, dude, you sound like a product owner. Oh, okay, so who you are really helps. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have the time, please have a look at some of these wonderful designs here. We'll put them in the chat and in the description a little bit later. So a big shout out to, like Zach, obviously, T, absolutely. Lorenzo, we were talking about you today, my dear friend. Guy Whale back in England. Raz, he's still here in England and occasionally messaged me. Dan, the effing man, has done amazingly well since we managed to place him at the United Nations as a UX designer, and he's gone on to be.
He's now working for Lint.
He's now working for Lint, he is indeed.
Yeah.
And of course, Morgan. Morgan, you up, man? Super proud of you and what you've been managed to do. And again, they all started from brand. They had that clear idea first.